One of the jobs I need to do on this engine before I can start to build it is to modify the oil pump. The crankshaft in this engine, with this being a 4-litre crankshaft, is 80.4mm stroke, which is 4mm longer stroke than the 3.6-litre crankshaft which was in there, which means that the rods are going to be 2mm closer to the oil pump. So as you can see down here, that conrod is basically colliding with the oil pump. So for the design of these engines, it dates back to, I think, the mid-60s. When they started off with a 2-litre engine, it had a 66mm stroke. So now that's gone up to 80mm or 80.4. So obviously the clearance to the oil pump is getting reduced, and you want the oil pump as large as you can so that you can have as big gears as possible to be able to get the oil through. So this is the original oil pump that was in the engine, and if you look on here, you can see there are already scallops in the body of the pump. So those are the standard ones for clearance in the 3.6 engine, and you can see where I've marked it with pen. So what I'm going to have to do is to increase those to get clearance on the rods. So I'll be doing this very carefully, because if I go overboard with it, I can basically break through the casing and then the pump will be scrapped. This, as I say, this is the original pump that was in the engine, so I'm doing it on this one as a trial run before I attack the new pump. The pump I am using is a standard 996 GT3 pump. There is a special pump available for the 4-litre which has these cutouts. As far as I'm aware, in terms of the actual capacity of the pump, it's the same as this one, but it's about twice the price, and the main difference is just these different scallops in here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure it's all taped up so that none of the bits I'm taking can get in through the ports through here. So I'll tape that all up, and then I'm going to start to remove a little bit of the material on here. This is the tool I'm using to remove the material. It's a 30mm wide belt sander, also known as a finger sander. It wasn't particularly expensive. Air powered ones are available, but I don't have a compressor in this garage, so I've gone for the mains powered one. So the first one is now done. Have a look at here. So I've just removed, I think it's torching at the right angle, just removed a little bit of the material just on that leading edge. So now, as you can see, there's now clearance. You can't really see it particularly well through there. There's definitely, there you go, definitely daylight through there now. So with the crankshaft resting in the engine like this, I've just put it in using the old shells. I've just put 3 shells in, so I've got one at each end and one in the middle. So I'll just clean them up and put some oil on them. And for the conrod, I'm just using the old shells, just lightly oiled, and I've just done the bolts up finger tight. There's no point to torquing them up for that. So that's the first one done. This one, the conrod's going that way up. For the second one, the conrod will be pointing downwards for the other bank. So I shall move the conrod over to here and check clearances. With the crankshaft back in place and the second conrod now in, you can see it's just catching at the bottom on there. So you can see I've marked it with a pen. So I shall now remove the pump for a second time and remove a little bit of material just there. As you can see, I've now got clearance on this one. It took 5 or 6 attempts with the pump going in and out. I was just marking it up each time with the marker just to show where material needed removing, and then just taking a very small amount off just to clear the marks from the pump, and then refitting, because I really don't want to take any more material off than I need to. Second one done. I shall now take the crank out and move across to this one so we can do the final one. For the third and final conrod I've got to look at, it does actually clear it already, but it's very, very tight. There's next to no clearance on it, so I'm just going to take a little bit off that top corner just to give it a tiny bit of room. And there shouldn't really be any need for much clearance, because obviously the conrod shouldn't be moving around. If it is, we've got other problems, but I'm just going to relieve that slightly anyway, just so it's got a little bit of room. Removed a small amount of material from this end of the pump, so as you can just about see on there, there's now more clearance. So with that done, that's the last of the 3 sections which I had to modify. So I'll just take the pump out, and then you can see what's been involved in it. So there you can see with where the material has been removed in each of the 3 sections. So that's finished. I'm going to clean up the outside of it, and then I can remove the coverings off the ports. And with this pump successfully done, I shall now repeat the operation on the new pump.